Now come some real interesting numbers. Number one in dollars spent in freshwater fishing. Minnesota, number one in dollars spent. I bet you didn't know that.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Pete Stauber here, and this is the actual first filming of Pete's Power Play. You know, it's about talking about the Minnesota's 8th Congressional District and our way of life. And today we have an extremely special guest with us, the very first show, phenomenal pro fisherman Al Lindner, and it's so I'm so glad to have you here, Al, and spending some time with us. And I really want to talk about what fishing means to you. You know, the opener's coming up, walleye opener. What does it do to you and your family?
Oh, it's been such a great tradition. You know, no other state has a fishing, opener like we have in Minnesota that gets the response. Yeah, on average, we get like 500,000 people on a good opening weekend if the weather's right. Go fishing.
Right.
I mean, it's a staggering number. Me and my family, it's no matter what the weather, it could be like this on opening. We've had openings where it's snowing. I don't care. I'm going fishing.
Yeah.
That's what you do in Minnesota.
That's right.
This is what we do. It's part of our lifestyle. It's everything our state stands for.
Yeah. And you have promoted the sport of fishing not only in Minnesota but throughout the country. And like, what is it when you go out and enjoy all of our lakes? What is your hope to get more of us out there? We have the young people just waiting, and you're an example of somebody who can bring that enthusiasm out to the young fisher boys and girls to make it a lifetime sport. How do you gather and push for the sport to be more
Appealing.
Yeah.
How appealing.
There you go.
Yeah, having made a living in this sport my entire life, I had an opportunity. I fish all over the United States. I've been in every state there is. And I could say beyond a shadow of a doubt, Minnesota, for multi-species fishing, has more to offer than any other state, period. And in spite of the grumbling that we get and the things we're dealing with, AIS and limits and stocking and all of this stuff, day in and day out, our fishing, our natural resources fishing, is phenomenal. It is still the best all-around average. And to get people involved, the key to getting people involved, young people in particular, they have to catch fish.
Yeah.
That's it. They got to go out and the bobber's got to go down. Something's got to happen. Well, that can happen on any lake in our state. We've got bluegills, we got bullheads, we got bass, we got things we can catch off the shore, we got public fishing docks. The opportunity to expose young people is the key. And when they're exposed, something's got to bite on the end of the line, and the chances are they're going to buy a license every year. It's going to be a part of the tradition that makes Minnesota what it is today.
Yeah. You're going to share a few facts with us on the economic impact of the great sport of fishing. And we talked earlier before we filmed this. It's phenomenal. Why don't you share those economic facts with us?
I'm really glad I get there because most people have no idea on the magnitude of what our state has to offer. We have 1.4 million anglers. We got over 10,000 lakes, like 11,000 of them, okay? 90,000 miles of shoreline. That's a bunch. 18,000 miles of fishable rivers and streams. 162 species of fish. That's a challenge. You want to, before you go home, and I'm going to put this on a wish list, I want to catch one of every fish that's in the state of Minnesota. 825,000 registered boaters. That's a big deal, man. Now come some real interesting numbers. Number one in dollars spent in freshwater fishing. Minnesota, number one in dollars spent. I bet you didn't know that. Supports over 43,000 jobs. 43,000 jobs in Minnesota. Most people don't even realize that. That's a shocking number. 2.8 billion in retail spending, and it generates 271 million in tax revenue. Fishing in Minnesota is a big business, Pete. Big business.
It is, and we appreciate, you could just tell the enthusiasm that you have, and such a proponent for fishing in our state. This is the last question I'll ask you. We're getting out of the economy part. Can you tell us your favorite shore lunch?
It's a bread and butter. The traditional shore lunch experience You got to fry the fish up in lard. Lard. It makes them taste oh so good. Yeah, you know, a good shore lunch is not healthy eating. Beans, fried fish in a skillet, in lard, with everything. Got some beans. You could throw some corn in with it. You want to slice some potatoes up and throw them in there with it. It's as simple as it gets. And something happens when you're having a shore lunch outside. It tastes like a gourmet dinner. It's really that simple.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being with us. And folks, I just want to thank Al Lindner and his comments here today. This is the first annual Pete's Power Play. We're going to do this several times. And we're just really looking at the excellence Minnesota shares and has. And we just talked to professional fisherman Al Lindner, talks about the importance of fishing for our state. So we'll see you next time.